first chapter, that is gravitation from science part 1. What is this gravitation? As we have learnt, the phenomenon of gravitation was discovered by Sir Isaac Newton. As the story goes, he discovered the force by seeing an apple fall from a tree on the ground. He wondered why all apples fall vertically downward and not at an angle to vertical. Why do they not fly off in horizontal direction? After much thought, he came to a conclusion that earth must be attracting the apple toward itself, and this attractive force must be directed towards the center of earth. And the direction from the apple on the tree to the center of earth is the vertical direction at the position of the apple, and thus the apple falls vertically downwards. To consider this concept, let us consider a picture. I have drawn a picture. Look at the picture. The picture shows an apple tree on the earth. See, this is earth and this is an apple tree. We can see that an apple is falling from the tree and it falls toward the center of earth. According to Newton, this movement, or we can say a tendency to move towards the center of gravity of earth, is called as gravitation. And this is true for all objects on the surface of earth. Not only for the objects on the surface of earth, but it is also true for the objects which are at certain heights. See, there are many apples which are at different heights from the surface of earth. So this is also true for all the objects which are at certain heights from the surface of earth. Then he thought, if the force of gravitation acts on apple on the tree at different heights, can it act on object at even greater height or much farther away from the earth? Like for example, the moon here, I have drawn a moon here and it is farther away from the earth. Then he concluded that yes, this gravitational force, it also exists between this farthest object, that is moon, and between this earth. And he concluded that this gravitation always tries to pull masses together. So from this, gravitation can be defined as: gravitation is a universal force which exists between any two objects present in the universe. Let us consider another point, that is circular motion and centripetal force. What is circular motion? The motion which is along the circumference of a circle, it is called as circular motion. Or if an object performs a motion along circumference of a circular path, then its motion is called as circular motion. Centripetal force. Centripetal force is a force that acts at any object moving along a circle and it is directed towards the center of circle. For this or to understand this concept, let us consider another diagram I have drawn here. This is a diagram in which OP represent a string. I have tied a stone at point P. Let us consider this. This is an activity. Tie a stone to one end of string. See, at one end of string means at point P. Tie a stone here and take the another end in your hand and rotate this string so that the stone moves along a circle as shown in this figure. What will happen? As long as we are holding the string, we are pulling the stone towards us, that is towards the center of circle, and we are applying a force towards this center of circle. The force stops acting if we release the string. What will happen if we release the string? If we release the string, the stone will fly along a straight line. See here, this is a straight line, and the stone will fly off along a straight line which is tangent to this circle at point P. And this shows the direction of its velocity, the direction of velocity of this stone. Suppose in its circular path, the stone is at this position, say position N, and if we release this string, then the stone will fly off at this tangent. So the force, the force with which the object is moving along the circumference of a circle, it is central seeking force, and it is called as centripetal force. So centripetal force is defined as a force act on any object. Here the object is stone. The force act on any object moving along a circle, and it is directed towards the center of circle. The example is force exerted by earth on moon. It is the example of centripetal force. We all know that moon is satellite of earth and it is rotating around the earth. So the force with which it is rotating, it is the centripetal force. And same is true for sun. The sun must be attracting the planets, including the earth, towards itself by centripetal force. Now let us consider the next point, that is Kepler's laws. Johannes Kepler was a great scientist who studied about the position of planets, and he noticed that the motion of planet follow certain laws, and these laws are called as Kepler's law. So the first law is, Kepler's first law is, the orbit of a planet is an ellipse with the sun at one of the foci. So here first of all let us consider what is an ellipse. Ellipse is a shape like this, and it has two foci. Suppose one focus is here at point S, then another focus is somewhere here at point P or Q, whatever it may be. The Kepler's first law states that the orbit of a planet is an ellipse with the sun at one of the foci. Here planet is at position A, you can see, and it is revolving around the sun in an ellipse. Position of the sun, it is indicated by capital letter S, and ellipse has two foci. Just I have told you, ellipse has two foci. So on this elliptical path, if sun is at position S, then the Kepler's first law states that the orbit of a planet is an ellipse. Its path is elliptical path with sun at one of the foci. Now let us consider Kepler's second law. It states that the line joining the planet and the sun sweeps equal areas in equal interval of time. Again consider the figure. Suppose AB, this is the distance AB. Suppose AB and CD, these are the distances on elliptical path of the satellite or planet. Then the distance AB and CD are the distances covered in equal time interval. Suppose AB and CD are distances covered by planet in equal interval of time, that is in equal time. Then the straight line, here the straight line is AS. This straight line is AS. Then the straight line AS and CS sweeps equal areas, means the area represented by ASB, this area 1, and the area CSD, area 2. These two areas are equal. The line joining the planet and the sun sweeps equal areas in equal interval of time. This is Kepler's second law. And now let us see Kepler's third law. The square of its period of revolution. Its period of revolution means period of planet here. The square of its period of revolution around the sun is directly proportional to the cube of the mean distance of a planet from the sun. That is, T square is directly proportional to R cube. Suppose T is period of revolution of satellite and small r is the average distance of planet from the sun, then T square is directly proportional to R cube. This can be written, if proportionality sign has to be removed, T square is equal to, take some constant, say K here, T square is equal to K into R cube. And next step, T square upon R cube is equal to K, that is constant. So this is all about gravitation, circular motion and centripetal force, and Kepler's laws. Friends, thank you for watching this video. Friends, if you have any difficulty or suggestions, please write in the comment box, and please don't forget